So I put the Rascal Light mini bike kit together, and the bike did around 35 miles an hour, I think 34.56. So I want to make it faster. So I think one of the first steps in making it faster is removing that internal and external governor. And then while I have the flywheel off, I think I'll go ahead and add some timing to it. Maybe shave the flywheel key a little bit. I mean, this thing probably won't get much faster by removing the governor, or internal governor, but at least I'll have it out of there, so when I do the future mods, it'll already be done. Loosen up this engine so I can loosen up the chain, pop that clutch off. I think this bike might have one of those nylon cam gears. I think on the micro bike it did. We'll find out. We'll move this chain guard mount so I can do a quick oil change. Well, at least I'll get to remove the brake-in oil. And that's the cool thing about these bikes. It's more fun taking them apart and wondering if they'll ever run again than riding them. Yeah, that oil still looks nice. Let's see if we got that plastic cam in here. Oh yeah, this one's even got the plastic lobes, or nylon lobes. Well, must be pretty strong, because even a Predator 224 comes with a nylon gear. And you got that governor wheel up in there. Might as well pull off this gas tank too. And that way I can put the bolt in the block up on the top when I pull that governor arm out of there. Pull off the bolt on this side. Pull this tank off of here. Yeah, now I can get to that governor arm and throw a bolt in there. Pop this governor arm off of here and all this governor linkage. I'm not going to need it anymore. After turning this thing into a rocket ship, it's not going to need the governor stuff. Spread this thing apart a little bit here so I can get that arm off of there. Pull this clip off of here. I'm going to have to run the cable a different way. Let's pull the blower housing off. I'll just pull this air filter off of here, make it a lot easier to get the blower housing off. Pull off this flywheel nut. There we go. Man, it's a light little flywheel in there. They don't weigh much. Let's pull this little governor rod out of here. A little arm, so I can put the bolt up there. Now I'll go over there and knock the nylon wheel out of here. Now I'm going to knock that pin out of there so I can put a bolt in there. There we go. That was easy enough. Pop that wheel out of there. Now I will throw a bolt in there and one up here. So I'm going to throw a 1/4 inch self-tapping bolt in here. I'll probably throw a little RTV on it just for good measure before I do. I can't remember if I have to use a button bolt to clear the flywheel, but we'll find out. Alright, so there's that one. I'll throw the flywheel on there just to make sure it clears, but I think it will. So I'm going to knock this flywheel key out of here and grind 1/4 of it off to advance the timing a little bit. I did another video a while back, a couple years ago actually, on a Coleman 3-horse with the key ground. And I have the timing marks on that video. I'm going to file about 1/4 of this key off. You actually don't need a key at all to hold the flywheel. When I tested it last time, I think it was about 1/4 of the key that gave me the best 0 to 30 in top speed. So it's just a few degrees timing. Got about 3.75 millimeters. The total width was a little over 5. The part that's left on here is 3.75, and the total width is 5. So, because on the last time I tested one of these, I ground it in half, and it was too much. So we're a little bit over a quarter, so that'll work. So now I will pop the flywheel key back on here, and I will put the ground in towards the back so I can move the flywheel forward just a couple degrees. Yeah, it's got to be ground down enough where the flywheel will slide over to the part here that's sticking up. Throw this flywheel back on here. So I got the bolts in the governor. So now, throw this cam back in here. Make sure I get those marks lined up. All right. Chain guard mount. Tighten up this chain and engine. Chain guard. Now that I got the governor bolt on there, I can throw this gas tank on here. Throw this blower housing back on here. Throw this air box back on here. So I think I'll set the valve lash at 3 on both sides on this. So I think now all I have to do is set up a throttle on this thing, because I'm not going to use the governor linkage anymore, so I'm going to have to come up with a different throttle. To make a quick throttle, I took all the throttle linkage off of here, and I cut a piece of it off, and I'm going to bolt it here to the valve cover, and then hook the cable to it, and then that way I can run the cable directly to the throttle on the carburetor. Now I will run the cable, my hold down clamp, and that way I can run a rod into the throttle here, and then hook the two together here with a spring, and we'll have throttle. So I'll throw a spring on here over the throttle cable, and then put the clamp them together. So that'll work. So now I'll throw the exhaust back on here. Got everything put back together. Exhaust on there. The throttle opens up, wide open. So we pulled about 15 pounds of stuff off here. So it's bound to be faster. So I guess now I'll just go test it out, see if we can beat 34 miles an hour. Put a little oil in this thing and we'll see what happens. Go test it out and see if we can beat 34.56. It seems more snappy. Seems pretty good. I'll do 0 to 30. I don't have a baseline 0 to 30 on this. I didn't do one when it was totally stock, but I'll get one now. That way, when I do future mods, I'll know what it is. So 0 to 30, 98cc with governor removed and timing advanced. see what we did. 0 to 30 in 11:11. So I don't know if that's good or not for this bike, but at least I have a baseline on it. So when I add the header pipe and other stuff, carb, let me back that one up just to make sure. Second attempt, 0 to 30, 98cc with governor removed and timing advanced. All right, let's see if we got anywhere close to 11:11. Oh, 10.85, so a little bit quicker that time. So right around 11-second range is the 0 to 30 for this bike. So now I'll go see if I can beat around 34 miles an hour top speed. Alright, top speed run, 98cc. Yeah, it seems like it revs up a lot harder now. I'm surprised the valve springs to let it rev that high. The bike was a lot faster. So stock, I never got a 0 to 30 time, but the top speed was 34.56. And I did a 0 to 30 to get a baseline, so at least I'll know for next time when I add more mods. And then it did 42.05. So it picked up over 7 miles an hour, 7.5. So removing the governor and adding just a few degrees of timing make a big difference on the 98cc. So now we'll see what I do next time. Probably add a header pipe, maybe a carb, I don't know, maybe even a cam.